Assalamu alaikum. My name is Shafiq Ahmed. I am from Ladkana, student of University of Sindh, campus Ladkana, from the Department of Business Administration. I am assigned to present a presentation in behalf of semester examination due to worsened critical situation of COVID-19. I am assigned by Ma'am Hina Shah in the course of Pakistan Studies. So I am asked to present on 4 topics. These are my 4 presentation topics: two-nation theory, ideology of Pakistan, 14 points of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, constitutional history of Pakistan. I will explain these 4 topics with their subtopics respectively. So let's start. Here are the outlines of my first presentation topic: two-nation theory. What is two-nation theory? Basic differences between Hindu and Muslim communities. Two-nation theory by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. So let's start. Here we go. What is two-nation theory? The simplest meaning of two-nation theory is that two separate nations, socially, culturally, politically, and religiously different from each other. It was demand for separate state for Muslims where they live and spend their lives according to great teachings of Islam. Quaid-e-Azam demanded the partition of India into two separate states based on two-nation theory. Muslim state to be called Pakistan and Hindu state to be called Bharat. Between Hindu and Muslim communities. First is the religious difference. Muslim believes in Islam, preaches us Tawheed, oneness of Allah, believe that Allah is the creator of the universe. Muslim believes the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, the messenger of Allah. Muslim firmly believe in the Holy Book Quran, complete code of life, and the life hereafter. Hindu believes in many gods. They have thousands of gods. So the religious difference is the core point of two-nation theory. As Hindus were in majority, they trying hold on minorities. There are increased conflicts on religious activities. So the second difference is cultural difference. Islamic culture. Muslims followed the Islamic culture. Muslims buried their dead bodies. Muslims slaughtered the cow. In Islam, every human being are equal. In Hindu culture, Hindus build their own culture. They burnt their dead bodies. Who consider the cow a mother and they worship cow. Caste system exists in Hindus. The third difference is social difference. The two communities of the subcontinent differ in their social life as well. Clothes, foods, the household, the layout of homes, the words of solutions, the gestures, and everything about there were difference. The political difference between the Hindus and Muslims have played an important role in the development and evolution of two-nation theory. Muslim politicians were against of democratic government system and Hindus were supporting that system. So two-nation theory by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. The term two-nation theory was first given by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. According to Sir Syed Ahmad, in India there exist two different nations, Hindus and Muslims, could not live together because Hindus and Muslims are two separate nations, because their religious history culture, and civilization were different from each other, so they deserve a separate nation. Political views of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, that India is continent, not a country. In area-wise, India was so large, so they deserve a separation and separation. India inhabited by a vast population with different races and different creeds. As India was large in size, this was also vast in population. So there were existing different kinds of religions, their races and the creeds. Among these, Hindus and Muslims are the major nations on the basis of nationality, religious custom, culture, historical traditions. So, number 4, after British quit, they could not share the political power equally because they were in majority. So they always tried to keep all the powers in their hands, and they ignoring the minorities like Muslims and Christianity and other minority religions. The Indian National Congress is not acceptable to Muslims because they didn't giving them rights to come forward and play a role for their people. Muslims could not accept a democratic setup of Western type because with a 1:4 ratio of population, they could be enslaved by the Hindus. As I told you, Hindus were in majority, so they could win and let them backward the minorities, and they always played a role and a lead. So this was my first presentation topic I have completed. So let's move to the second presentation topic. Completed my first presentation topic. Let's move to the second one. Ideology of Pakistan. There are the outlines. What is ideology? Why ideology emerged? Ideology of Pakistan. Ideology of Pakistan by Allama Iqbal. Ideology of Pakistan by Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Importance of ideology of Pakistan. What is ideology? The word ideology is been taken from two Greek words, ideo and logos, means the study of ideas. Why an ideology emerges? When people feel mistreated and feel their status is being threatened, so the people emerge and the ideology emerges at that moment. Ideology of Pakistan. Ideology of Pakistan is the basis of two-nation theory. Muslims demanded a separate homeland where they perform their religious activities freely. The ideology of Pakistan took shape through an evolutionary process. Iqbal gave a philosophical experience and Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah translated it into political reality. The creation of Pakistan was unique in the sense that it was based on the ideology which sought its roots from the religion of Islam. The famous slogan was पाकिस्तान का मतलब क्या, ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह. Ideology of Pakistan by Allama Muhammad Iqbal. Allama Muhammad Iqbal was a great poet, philosopher and politician. Iqbal had sensitive and deep thinking mind. In 1930, Allama Iqbal present 21st session of All India Muslim League in Allahabad and delivered his famous address. Has suggested that the Muslims of Indian subcontinent should demand separate state. He said, I would like to see Punjab, Northwest Frontier Province, NWPF, Sindh and Balochistan amalgamated into a single state. Ideology of Pakistan by Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah's struggles was also based on two-nation theory. He said India is not a national state. India is a country, but a subcontinent composed of two major nationalities, Hindu and Muslims, whose culture and civilization, language and literature, laws and jurisdiction, history and tradition are fundamentally different by all canons of international law. We are nation. In 23rd March 1940, a historical session held in Lahore called Lahore Resolution, which was demand of establishment of Pakistan, where Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah in his presidential address said Islam and Hinduism is not religion in strict sense of the world, but are in fact different and distinct social orders. The Hindus and Muslims are two different religions, philosophies. They neither intermarry nor live together. Quaid-e-Azam realized British rules the fundamental social, religious and political differences. So he played a significant role in the making of Pakistan, in the ideology of Pakistan. Importance of ideology of Pakistan. Basically, Muslims demanded separate state where they spend and perform their religious activities freely according to the great teachings of Islam without any hindrances. And after the enormous struggles and sacrifices, Muslims achieved their destination in the shape of Pakistan. So here I have completed my second presentation topic. Let's move to the third one. 14 points of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Muhammad Ali Jinnah present his famous 14 points on March 28, 1929 to the Muslim League Council at their session in Delhi in response to Nehru Report. Actually, Nehru Report and 14 points of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah were presented in response to Simon Commission. Simon Commission was a group of 7 MPs from Britain who were sent to India in 1927 to study constitution reforms and make recommendations to the governments. That commission was named on the name of chairman appointed named Sir John Simon. Nehru Report gave his report 10th August 1928. Constitutional reforms in Indian subcontinent. All India Muslim League refused to accept it. Then Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah presented his 14 points in the response to Nehru Report, which are clearly against of minorities. Their rights, the right of minorities were ignored in Nehru Report. So the Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah present his 14 points on the response to Nehru Report on 28th March 1929. Fourteen points of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah are here under. The form of the future constitution should be federal, with the residuary powers to be vested in the provinces. Like 18th Amendment in Pakistan, now the provinces have authority to do anything in their provinces, means they have authority to do anything. A uniform measures of autonomy shall be granted to all provinces. All legislature in the country and other elected bodies shall be constituted on the definite principle of adequate without reducing the majority in any province to minority or even equality. In the central legislative, Muslim representations should not be less than 1/3. Number 5th one is representation of communal groups shall be continue to be by separate electorates, provided that it shall be open to any community at any time. To abandon its separate electorate in favor of a joint electorate. Number 6, any territorial redistribution that might at any time be necessary shall not in any way affect the Muslim majority in the Punjab, Bengal and the NWPF. Number 7, full religious liberty of belief, worship and observance, propaganda, association and education shall be granted to all communities equally. Number 8th one is, no bill or resolution or any part therefore shall be passed in any legislature or any other elected body in 3/4 of the members of any community in that particular body oppose such a bill, resolution or part therefore on the ground that it would be injurious to that community, or in the alternative such other method is advised as may be found feasible practicable to deal with such cases. Number 9, Sindh should be separate from the Bombay Presidency. Number 10, reform should be introduced in the NWPF and Balochistan on the same footing as in other provinces. Number 11, provision should be made in the constitution giving Muslims an adequate share along with the other Indians in all the services of the state and in local self-governing bodies, having due regard to the requirements of efficiency. Number 12, the constitution should be embody adequate safeguards for the protection of Muslim culture and for the protection and promotion of Muslim education, language, religion and personal laws and Muslim charitable institutions and for other and for their due share in the grants in aid given by the state and by local self-governing bodies. Number 13, no cabinet either central or provincial should be formed without there being a proportional of at least 1/3 Muslim ministers. Number 14, no change shall be made in the constitution by the central legislative except with the concurrence of the state constituting the Indian Federation. So this was my third presentation topic, 14 points of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. So let's move to the last and fourth topic of my presentation, constitutional history of Pakistan. Here are the outlines of my presentation, constitutional history of Pakistan. What is constitution? Constitution of 1956, Constitution of 1962, Constitution of 1973. What is Constitution? Constitution is a basic principle and laws of a nation, state or social group that determines the powers and duties of the government and guarantee certain rights to the people in it. Constitution of 1956. Pakistan's first constitution was presented on 23rd March 1956. After the freedom of Pakistan in the period of Lord Mountbatten, India Independent Act 1947, Government Act 1935, introduced as interim constitution of Pakistan. Pakistan government formed assembly under section 8 of the Indian Independent Act 1974. 1947, there held first session of the assembly where Muhammad Ali Jinnah elected as the president of that assembly and awarded a title of Qaid-e-Azam. In the making of constitution, there happened a conflict because there were two types of people, secular and religious people. Their thinkings didn't match. So on 12th March 1949, Liaquat Ali Khan brought a resolution called Objective Resolution. In Objective Resolution, Liaquat Ali Khan represent both secular and religious members of the assembly. On 1951, Prime Minister Liaquat Ali Khan was assassinated by someone and Khwaja Nazimuddin appointed on his place as a Prime Minister. After 7 years of Pakistan made, the assembly were near to present the constitution draft. The Governor General Ghulam Muhammad dissolved the assembly on 24th October 1954. It was a big setback for Pakistan. A speaker after that action, the speaker of that assembly, Maulvi Tamizuddin, challenged the action of Ghulam Muhammad in the Sindh High Court, and he got the decision in his own favor and in Maulvi Tamizuddin's favor. Ghulam Muhammad then challenged the decision in the federal court. Federal court then gave the decision in the favor of Ghulam Muhammad, and on 28th May 1955, the elected second constitution, he elected second constitutional assembly. That assembly gave the first constitution of Pakistan on 23rd March 1956. So here are the silent features of Constitution of 1956. It will be the Islamic Republic. Federal governmental system will be applied. Unicameral legislative there will be. Parliamentary system will be applied, lower house and upper house. And the constitutional will be made on the Islamic law. Constitution of 1962. The Governor General Khwaja Nazimuddin fell badly ill and replaced with Iskandar Mirza as the acting Governor General. After that, he elected as a President of Pakistan on that Constitution of 1956. But the issue of East Pakistan and West Pakistan couldn't solve by anyone, so the situation had been washed, and on 7th October 1958, President Iskandar Mirza dissolved the Provincial Assembly and abrogated the Constitution and enforced the first martial law and appoint Ayub Khan as the Chief Martial Law Administrator. On 27th October 1958, Ayub Khan took the powers of Iskandar Mirza and became the President. On 17th February 1960, he appointed a constitutional commission to draft the constitution. That assembly gave his report on 1961, and on 8th June 1962, Ayub Khan gave second constitution of Pakistan. Here are the silent features of the constitution of 1962. That it will be the written constitution. Federal governmental system will be applied. Presidential form of government there will be, and a unicameral legislature it will be. Indirect method of election will be applied. All the powers will be given to the president, and Islamic law will be applied in the making of constitution. Constitution of 1973. Such powers in the conflict in the constitution were not acceptable for both sides of Pakistan, and that increased instability in Pakistan. In the election of 1965, the situation became worse because Ayub Khan seems to be accused in unfairness in elections. And in 1965, the situation goes out of the hands of Ayub Khan, and he transferred his powers to Yahya Khan. After 7 years of second constitution of Pakistan, Yahya Khan abrogated the second constitution of political instability. Then he imposes second martial law in the country. In 1970s elections, there increased more instability because East Pakistan, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman win in the majority, and in West Pak Zulfikar Ali Bhutto in the win in the majority, and there start a conflict of power. Bhutto were saying he won, Sheikh Mujib were saying that he wins. Due to martial law enforcement and conflict for war increase the sense of deprivation for East Pakistan, and then they demanded for separation from West Pakistan. After the separation, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto wins the elections. Yahya Khan leaves the powers, and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto became martial law administrator. On 21st April 1972, given interim constitution, and on 14th August 1973 gave Zulfikar Ali Bhutto gave the third constitution of Pakistan, which is still running in Pakistan. So here are the silent features of a constitution of 1973, that the constitution will be written constitution, parliamentary form of government. In the making of constitution, the Islamic law will be applied. All the powers, increase of power of prime minister under as a nation, Urdu as a national language. So this was the history of Constitution of Pakistan. It was a detailed story of the history of Pakistan. So I hope you have learned something through this lecture. So I am especially thankful to my viewers, and special thanks to Ma'am Hina Shah, who gave me this opportunity that I have uploaded. I am gonna upload this work on this type of platform, which is recognized and a globally recognized platform. So thank you again to Ma'am Hina Shah, who gave me this opportunity. Thank you very much.